All right, welcome into the Puck Reviews weekly recap. I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined over here by my good pal Jake Martin.
How we doing?
AKA known as Brian Lawton's doppelganger.
Yeah.
And today we're going to do a recap of the most recent events in the National Hockey League, hockey world in general, probably. I'm going to hit you with a few topics, Jake. You're going to give me your opinions on them. How's that sound today?
That sounds horrible and horrifying.
Horrible. All right, well, as we record this video, we just learned that the Stanley Cup Final is going to be the Dallas Stars. First is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa just recently, as of last night, won Game 6 over the New York Islanders to advance to the Cup Final. Their first time in the final since 2015 when they lost to the Chicago Blackhawks. What do you think, Jake? Who do you got in this series? Who's taking it all?
I'm thinking Dallas. I think they've come a long way over the season, over the course of the playoffs even. They have really found their true issues over those games, and I think that Dallas is going to somehow find a way to overcome the Tampa Bay Lightning.
All right, well, I think Tampa Bay is going to win, so this works well. And I can give you one reason right now. You know what that reason is? Victor Hedman. What do you think?
I don't think so.
I got another one for you, Braden Point. How about that?
Braden Point, I think, would be the...
Yeah.
I think it's...
Wait for it. Nikita Kucherov. It's 3 reasons right there.
That's depressing. You know what?
What do you got for me?
I'm going to give you my reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this as a goalie. I have a little bit of a bias. Dobby, Anton Khudobin, is going to continue to play lights out for Dallas. Miro Heiskanen, I cannot pronounce his name. I hate this guy so much. He is going to continue to just improve, and I think he's going to be able to stop the Tampa Bay Lightning from doing what they want to do with this series, as well as I think that the loss of Stamkos for Tampa is going to kind of give way, and it's going to finally have an effect on this team.
There are rumors he's been skating. There might be a chance he comes back. I don't know the official word on that right now. There's only been the game. They played Game 6 against the Islanders on Thursday. Game 1 of the Cup Final is tomorrow on Saturday, so it's a quick turnaround. We might not see him at the beginning of the series, but there's a chance he could come back, and who knows what that does for the Tampa Bay Lightning and their energy, their motivation to win for their captain, who's been a key part of this team for so long and hasn't been able to help this team win at all in the Cup Final. He's been out the entire time since, I believe, February. I think it's a lingering knee injury. I think it actually stems all the way back from that game years ago in Boston where he slammed into the post. That was a pretty tragic injury.
Yeah, that was a tib fib. That wouldn't be the knee.
Well, it was something with his leg. I think it's residual of that.
Yeah.
Might not be, but I think it's something in that area. Jake's, in the medical field, so he likes to be specific.
That's not the knee. That's the two bones on the leg.
So we have game 1. Game 1 tomorrow.
Game 1 is tomorrow.
All right.
Yep, it's at 7:30.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have some other news from around the National Hockey League this past week.
We do.
I'll start here. Todd Reirden, going back a little bit, who was fired in Washington after only 2 seasons of not getting to the Stanley Cup Final and winning like Barry Trotz did. Coincidentally, Barry Trotz, obviously, as we know, coach of the New York Islanders, and brought his team that probably wasn't expected to make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Final, 2 wins away from the Cup Final. But Todd Reirden's gone in Washington. He is being replaced by Peter Laviolette, who has been away since he was fired in Nashville. What do you think about this, Jake?
I think that it's a good move for the Capitals, although I do think that while it is a good move, while they are getting an experienced, well-versed, great coach, he is a little bit washed up at this point.
Washed up, huh?
Washed up.
Peter Laviolette is washed up.
Washed up in Washington, yep.
The reasoning for this move, I think, is they wanted an experienced coach. There was, I think, even rumor that Mike Babcock was on the table potentially for this job, with Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, some of these older players that needed an experienced coach. This wasn't a time to bring in a rookie coach.
Definitely.
They went with Laviolette instead of a name they might not expect. But then we have 2 GM hirings as well. We have Bill Zito in Florida taking over for Dale Talon, and Bill Armstrong, who's actually pretty familiar for people in this area, the Rhode Island area at least, for his work with hockey camps, and son went to school with me actually, gets hired in Arizona as the GM there, taking over for John Chaika's, not dismissal, but when John Chaika walked away from the team right before the postseason began due to other job opportunities. And if you're not familiar with that, a little bit of drama then that, what's the word I'm looking for? Transpired there. It was a little... You hear about that? You know what happened?
I did not.
Okay, so maybe I'll just recap it really quick. John Chaika basically had this opportunity. It was unclear if it was going to be in the hockey world or not. He just talked to the Coyotes management. Alex Morello is the new owner there in Arizona. Xavier Gutierrez is their new president of hockey ops, and they had conversations with them. I think was given the okay to explore opportunities that weren't competitive with the Arizona Coyotes GM job. So he couldn't go look to be a GM in another for another team or something like that. Turns out it ended up being something in the analytics department with the New Jersey Devils, I believe, which seems to be very competitive with the job in Arizona. Created a bit of fallout there. We're not exactly sure what's going to happen, if there's going to be any ruling on the NHL in that case. The NHL did rule that the Arizona Coyotes were going to lose first and second round pick on 2021 and 20. Okay,
I think they actually did end up.
They did, yeah, they did. No, this is a different thing, yeah. So they lost the 2020 second round pick and 2021 first round pick for tampering, basically testing combine violations of amateur players, and that was something that obviously Gary Bettman's been really pro Arizona Coyotes, has even taken over ownership of the team really for a period of time to make sure they stayed in Arizona. This is a big blow for an organization that looks like it was about to kind of make a bit of a comeback. What do you think about this for Arizona, Jake?
Personally, I think they are going kind of in the wrong direction. I feel that they are scrambling. At this point, they are scrambling to stay mildly relevant. They're trying to get up into those Columbus vibes while signing Bill Armstrong probably is a good move for them. I think that they're just going to continue to fall. They're going to continue to make a downward spiral. And
you're really positive, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're a positive person.
I am, yeah. I think that they're going to slowly go towards the possibility of relocation. They're going to end up pulling in Atlanta.
Where do you... Atlanta? You think they're going to Atlanta?
No, I think they're going to pull in Atlanta. They're going to go to Winnipeg. I think they're going to end up having to kind of jump ship. Or not jump ship, but... what's the word I'm looking for?
Relocate?
Well, yeah, I said relocate. I'm trying to think of like a...
Trying to be fancy with his words.
What? Yeah, I'm looking for a fancy word, but...
So where would Arizona go?
I don't know. Maybe Quebec. I could see Quebec. I could see Hartford potentially. I don't think. Hartford.
Nah. Hartford's never got another team.
Yeah, no. Quebec, I think, would be the move for them, or maybe add a second team.
I think
Minnesota.
so. The way I look at this is, I hate to entertain this conversation because I want Arizona to stay in Arizona. I'll be clear about that.
He's pro Kachina.
Yeah, pro Kachina, but. I would say if it was to happen, Arizona would go to Houston, keeps them in the Western Conference, also moves them closer to the Central Division. As if you may not be familiar, when Seattle comes into the league for the 2021-2022 season, they're going to be in the Pacific Division, which is pushing Arizona, as of now, probably going to stay that way, pushing Arizona out of the Pacific Division and into the Central Division. If you look at a map, Arizona's really not near any of the other Central Division teams. But if they were to relocate to Houston, conspiracy theories muck here, it would make it way more sense if they were already in the Central Division. And then you're talking about if Florida had to relocate again. Don't want any teams to be relocating, but if it was to happen, it would make much more sense if Florida went to Quebec instead of Arizona.
That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah, if we're being kind of logical, but we're going to hope that doesn't happen.
Definitely.
Anyway, what do you think? We're going to talk a little bit about the Bruins here, our hometown team.
Oh, boy.
Zdeno Chara, there were rumors that this was going to be his last season. Potentially, you saw his last game as Game 5 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He did post on social media that he wants to return for another season. He expects to be back. It was relatively unclear that he was... I mean, the post itself made it seem like he was going to be back. I don't think there's any official word that it is going to happen. It sounds like he will be. We're going off of that for now. What do you think about one more year of Zdeno Chara?
I think it's time for Boston to move on from Zdeno Chara, and I've heard it from him a lot where he disagrees with me on that. I feel that Zdeno Chara, though he is a great asset on the ice in terms of a body and a leader in the locker room and on the ice, I believe that Zdeno Chara is past his time as a relevant and good defenseman. I think that they should be starting to look at other options, whether in free agency, defenseman, or at potentially trading him away for an asset and building from within.
Well, they do have a good young core, and the argument's been that Chara's helped develop those young defensemen, Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo, Jeremy Lauzon. We might be moving on from Torey Krug, so I'm kind of avoiding that one particularly. He did, and this kind of leads into the next point, Torey Krug did kind of post an ominous photo on social media with the Boston skyline. No caption, I don't think, at all. People are maybe looking into it a little too much as him kind of saying goodbye to the city. There's a lot. I mean, he's from Michigan. it would make sense that he ends up in Detroit. They're one of the few teams that could actually sign him that has room under this crunched, well, it's a flat cap, considering we were expecting to go up from like 81 to 88, something like that. And it's in fact staying at the same level, which keeps a crunch on most teams. Detroit would make sense for a lot of reasons. What do you think about Torey Krug? Does he stay or does he go?
I believe that they should make a push to keep him, whether that means trade some players away or do something else. They should do something to keep him. But I do believe, as unfortunate as it is, I think he's going to be taking his bags and picking up those fat stacks of cash in Detroit. What about you? What do you feel is going to occur with that? What do you think Boston should do should they want to keep him?
Well, I think they're probably gonna give him an offer. David Krejci makes $7 million. That's the top, right? Torey Krug probably worth more than that, or at least around that. You know, when Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron are being paid in the sixes, David Pastrnak, it's going to be hard to give Torey Krug more money than that. Just kind of the way it's set up in Boston right now, and I quite frankly have a hard time seeing him stay unless he's going to take some kind of discount to stay in Boston. So Torey Krug may or may not stay in Boston. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm not confident, to be honest with you, and they do have a good core, especially if Chara comes back. I like their defense. It's better than it's been in years.
Yeah.
We won't necessarily jump into the Tuukka Rask conversation, I guess. But do you see him having a longer future in Boston or not? Just quickly.
I see him staying with Boston. I see him
not retiring or anything.
Yeah, not retiring yet. Giving way to the next round of Bruins goaltenders, whether that is Vladar or Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, Swayman's probably their next true defensive goaltending prospect. And do
you think we let
I've liked
Halak
what I've
go?
seen from him. What? Do
you think we let Halak go?
I mean, Halak you can keep around, but he's not a starter.
That's true.
Not anymore, and he's getting old, right? He's late 30s. I want to say he's like 36. And he's not, I mean, Khudobin, who we talked about a minute ago in Dallas, wanted more than the Bruins were really going to need for a backup goaltender as far as money's concerned. Went to Dallas, doing really well. I love Anton Khudobin, his personality and the way he plays and everything. And he's not a very big goaltender, but obviously he's got a team in the Stanley Cup Final. They tried to bring Ben Bishop back and did not go very well, and they've kept Khudobin in there. I think Bishop might have even re-aggravated whatever injury he's dealing with, or at least that's the story.
He seems to have a history of injuries in the playoffs. I feel like Bishop is very unreliable. Should he have to get in there?
For a bigger goaltender, I feel like it's not as common to have those nagging injuries as much, but I guess that's the case with him.
Yeah, he seems to have more severe nagging injuries. Like as a goalie for 20 years, I've had nagging injuries, but they've never
Jake's
gotten
bringing back his amateur goaltender history.
Yeah, my high school days door opener.
Yeah, door opener.
Professional. Yeah, I was an all-state door opener.
Oh man, well,
I don't want to pat myself on the back too much.
Yeah, I'll pat you on the back, right? So we're gonna sign off here with one final thought. We're gonna give you a prediction for the Stanley Cup Final right now. At the end of this video, if you've watched this long, everyone wants to know, what do you think?
It's going to be Dallas in 7. I think Dallas is going to prevail. Dobby, as I said before, he's going to do his thing, and he has a good team around him that they can do it. And they beat the Knights, who were the favorite. They beat Colorado, also a favorite to win the Cup, and they're going to do it. What about you?
I say Tampa Bay in 6, and I'm going to stick by that. They're a team that's just too well-rounded from front to back, goaltending, defense, offense. They got it all, the whole package. The story for the Dallas Stars has been incredible to this point, undoubtedly doing wonders for that fan base that looks like it was struggling at points because this Stars team was a bit inconsistent over the recent seasons, but really awesome to see them in the Stanley Cup Final. And quite frankly, I'm happy for whoever wins, and that kind of sounds like a cop-out, but I do expect Tampa to win in 6 games, and I think that's what's going to happen. So
I like it. Yeah.
All right. Any final words for the people before we sign off here?
Make sure to stay tuned.
Stay tuned,
keep
subscribe.
Coming back. Yeah.
This is going on the Puck Review YouTube channel where you're most likely going to be seeing it. And like I said, subscribe so you can continue to watch these recaps as they happen. We're going to, as long as there's hockey content to talk about, we'll be here talking about it. So until next time, we will see you guys later.
Have a good one.